Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at question 6b on the previous question paper for computer practice N4. So our question 6b says we must retrieve the document plastic, as you see here. So we are going to open it. I've opened it on the left hand side, as you see. So the instruction continues and says change question 6a in the header. It means we must change the text in the header to be question 6b, as you see there. Now when I go to the header on the document that I'm working on, I will have to go inside the header first by double clicking and go and modify the question to be 6b, just like this. Alright, now when we look at the next question, it says edit the document as indicated in the text and according to the instructions. So this type of instruction, you will get it every time when you have a document that you have retrieved and you have to make changes according to the instruction that you see in the question paper. So I've retrieved this. Now I'm going to make it look like what we see here at the bottom. Alright, so I will scroll a little bit on my question paper so that you see how the text should appear like. Okay, so we see that here it says what is happening in our oceans, but when we look at the paragraph where we are actually doing the editing, it is not there, that heading. Okay, it's because in the question paper it is included because you have to insert it. It is not there in the file that you retrieved. So what I will do as I'm working, I click the cursor must blink before, just in the beginning of the first paragraph. When I press enter like I did now, it will open a space on top. Alright, so I press enter again just for me to have two spaces. So when I click there on top, then I have my space where I can insert my sentence. Alright, so if I type what is happening in our oceans, alright, so I just typed it. So this sign that you see here, it's a manuscript sign which tells you that you have to insert the following. So every time when you see this sign, next to it there will be a sentence or a heading or a word that you have to type or you have to insert. So now I have typed it as you see here. So but I cannot leave it like this because there is an instruction or a manuscript sign again to modify or to format what I've typed to appear in uppercase. You see is uppercase. Uppercase is capital letters, remember. Bold and center. So there are three things. This is where you get your 3 marks if I put it like that. So now it won't be just 3 marks because even other marks will come from just inserting. So this now is where you get a lot of marks, and if you miss this, you are actually losing marks. So if you are not inserting this, you are not only losing the marks of inserting but also for formatting. That is also allocated to the marking. So I'm going to highlight what I've typed, and then on the tools there, obviously I will make it uppercase. Remember, uppercase is this icon, capital letter AA, change case. When I click there, I will find uppercase. Alright, then I will make it bold by clicking B, and then I will make it center there. Okay. So now I'm guaranteed that I got all the marks for this sentence. When we look at the first paragraph, there is a sign or an instruction that says we must do double line spacing. Okay, so when we did part 1, which is question 6a, we learned about spacing. So now I'm going to highlight this, and then we are going to change the spacing to double line spacing. So make sure you are under home. On the paragraph group, you launch the group, then the screen that comes, you will see that there is spacing and then we change it from single to double. So when I click OK, it will only apply double line spacing to the first paragraph only. Right? So as we continue to look at our question paper, there we have an indication that says paragraph 2 and 3, as you see here, they have to become 2 columns with a line in between. Alright, so but before we do that, this first paragraph is going to be before you make 2 paragraphs to be 2 columns or whatever number of columns, 3 or 4 columns, just make sure that the text in those paragraphs, you firstly modify or format what needs to be formatted before you can change it to 2 paragraphs. Like for instance, the first paragraph, there's an indication here with a line that looks like a strike through. So this line is not what you are going to draw, this line here. It is actually meaning that we have to delete, hence we see a manuscript sign here that says DEL, deal, because it's delete. Okay, then after that, after we delete it, we will have to make sure that this number here will change to be in full, not only a number but in weights. We will have to make it appear in weights, this 8. Okay, and then after that is when then we will make 2 columns. So I'm going to check the first paragraph from the sentence here that says 2 up until the end where it says today. We have to delete, so I highlight, then I press delete, then it's deleted. Then this 8, then writing it in full, I will have to say 8 in full, just like that. So after doing that, then I can highlight the 2 paragraphs and make them 2 columns. So let me make this screen bigger so that you see what will happen. Okay, so I'm going to highlight these 2 and then I will go and change it to 2 columns. So you go to layout and then you will see columns, click, and then you go to more columns, because if you just rush to 2, you won't get an option of drawing a line in between. So you go to more and then you say 2, so you tick there where it says line between. When you click OK, it will draw a line in between for you. But there is something here that you need to consider, because this first column, if you check here on the right hand side as they indicated, the first column here that says the following facts shed light on how, that reads like that, it has to be column number 1, and column number 1 must end where it says wildlife. Then column number 2 will start where it says about 8 and will end where it says fingernail. So when we look at our text here, about 8 million should be the start of column 2, but now when I inserted it broke and then column 2 started here, which is wrong. So we need to fix this. You put the cursor where the column 2 must start, then you go to layout, then you go to breaks, and then you choose column. When I click choose column, then it goes there, then first column remains alone, then column 2 starts exactly where it's supposed to start. Okay, so because now when they allocate marks, it will be where the column starts, where the column break, where the column ends. You get those marks, and then you'll get a mark of the line in between. So probably a minimum of 4 marks for creating columns, unless if you still have to do other formatting, which will be a lot of marks around the column if we need to do that. Right, so when we check again on the text that we are doing here, the instruction again says the sentence at the end, which is not part of the column, that says every minute, as we see it there, has to be uppercase and underline. So when I go there to my text, I'm going to change it to uppercase, highlight everything, and then I go to home, choose there where it says change case, uppercase, and then choose underline, just like that. So when we check our question paper there, it says you have to create a page break just below what we were doing now. Okay, so creating a page break, it means now make sure the cursor is blinking exactly at the end of the text or the sentence. Then we are going to insert a page break. So we can go to layout, and then you will see there, okay, when you're under layout, you will see breaks, then you can choose page. So now it takes you to page 2, which is clean, but page 1 is where actually I was doing the first part of formatting. So you can see your document is changing as you go, right? So now when we go to the new page after a page break, you have to make sure that you put the cursor on the new page, because that is where the page break has started. And then let's look at what we are going to do here. Now as I scroll down, they say insert a table with 3 columns and 3 rows. Row height of all rows 1.5 centimeter. Match all indicated cells indicated. Insert single inside borders. All right, insert outside and outside double border of 1.5. So when we look at this table as it is, we have to count number of columns and number of rows. So when I look at it here, it is going to be column 1, column 2, column 3. So the first row has been matched, so we consider it as a column also, because it falls under this column 2, column 3. So how do I do it? When I go there, you are going to say insert. When you go to table, don't use the grid, just go and specify how many columns you want. So when I go to insert, I will have to put number of columns, that's why we were counting, and number of rows. So if we go back a little bit, we realized it's column 1, 2, 3, row 1, 2, 3, so they are equal, 3, 3. Okay, so I'm going to say there and then click insert table, then put 3. When I click OK, it inserts a clean table. So you cannot just leave it like this and type the information inside. You will have to make sure that it looks exactly as the one that you saw there. So we will have to make sure that it has the double border around and a single borders inside. So what I do, I have to click the table first, then I can right click and go to format the table. Okay. So what I can do, I can click table properties. You will see there on table properties there are many things that you can change, like table, rows, you have the measurements, columns measurements, cells measurements, there preferred width, column preferred width, and then row we have to specify the height and so on. So that's why they said you must have a row height of all rows as 1.5 centimeter and so on. So let's start by putting in the text. So how do we say benefit of plastic recycling? How do we make it to appear straight on the first row? We firstly have to match this row. So I'm going to highlight that row, right click inside and go to match cells. Okay, and then now I need to apply a border around the table, which is a double border. So what I do, when the table is selected, you will see table tools there on top. Okay, so when you see table tools, then you go to the borders, you can go to borders there, and then you go down to borders and shading, and then we will see a preview that actually demonstrates or show us the whole table as it is. So what we need is a double border around, so we go down and look for a double line, click it, and then you are going to make sure that it's only outside. So now inside it must be single lines. So when I click here, I can choose and say single line, and then for double there I choose, then I put double where it must go by clicking. After choosing, I click where it must be applied. So when I click OK, you will see that is a double border around my table. So if I show the question paper again, you see it's almost becoming the same. We just need to make sure that the text is inside the table. So if I go inside my first row and type benefits of plastic recycling, and then here we have to type, okay, this sentence that I've typed here, it must not be underlined, it must not be bold, it must not be edited. So I'm just going to leave it plain as it is, and then now I'll have to type everything that follows after that before we edit it. So here we are going to say conserve energy and natural resources. So here on this row we can see that you have typed clears landfill, spaces. So make sure that they are not underlined or being affected by what we did in the beginning. So here I will say petroleum and water. Okay, petroleum and water. Okay, then space. Right, I remove the underline that comes as I'm typing. So conserve the balance in nature. So that is what I type now. Conserve the balance in nature. Okay, then clear previous land should come here. Clear previous land. So I just have to make sure that nothing has been edited without the instructions there. So I have an instruction to edit the first heading in my row, uppercase, center, underline, Arial black. So I highlight everything, so make sure that it's uppercase. When I go there, I choose uppercase, then I have to choose center according to the instructions as you see them here one by one. Firstly, I've highlighted, so now I'm going to do the third one, underline. Arial black is the font type, Arial black. Okay, then I have to change the font size to 16, just like that. Then when we look at our question or instructions for the whole table, it says center contents of table vertically and horizontally. So what you do to center vertically and horizontally, you highlight everything, because it says all the contents, so it has to be everything from the main heading up there, and then we want to center it vertically and horizontally. So after highlighting, it's not this center of paragraphs, you have to go to table tools. So if I click design here, okay, click layout, you will see the alignment of a table. So this one at the center is center text horizontally and vertically as indicated there where you see. If I click there, they all become at the center of the table, where all the text is in the middle of all the cells that you have typed the text inside. Then they say retrieve the Word file, recycle, copy and paste the text after the table, alignment must stay left. So now when we go to the table, put in the cursor after the table there, then I have to go to the file called recycle, copy the text and paste it here. So what you have to do is to retrieve the file first. So I'm just going to go to my file explorer, then go to the folder that contains all the files, then I have the file called recycle. It will be as like part of the files that are loaded in your files. Okay, so all the text that comes from recycle is this, because now when we look at the question, they said retrieve the Word file, recycle, copy and paste the text after the table, alignment must stay left. So I'm going to copy everything that comes from here, copy, then I'm out of this document. When I go back to the document that I'm working on, then I paste. So this is the new text that came. When we look at our question again, it says now the text appears there in the question paper. Now I brought it on my document that I'm working on. So we are going to look at what is needed here. They say number the paragraphs and indent. So here we need to insert the numbers on the paragraph and indent. So we have paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you can do on this paragraph to number them, if I highlight from sorting until the end, because on the question paper it's indicated that is from here up until there. So I'm just going to make sure that I also highlight so that I can insert the numbers. Highlight everything, I just did. Then when you go to insert numbers, you see there where there are numbers, there are bullets. If I click numbers like this, it will just indent automatically and insert the numbers to number my paragraphs. So let's look at my the instruction again. Now we have where they say to you that you have to insert the text and tab stops as indicated below. So this last paragraph that you see here, it is not appearing on your document there because you have to insert it. How do I know? Because there is an insert manuscript sign. Remember, when you see this, it means it's not part of the document that you have retrieved. You have to add the text that is next to this sign. So but this is just not a normal text. This is a tab stop paragraph. We have to set these tab stops first. So we have a tab stop of left, which is 5.08, and a tab stop of which is a decimal tab, which is 11.94. So this is how you do it. Before you type, you set the tabs. When I click home, I'm going to go to paragraph group and launch the group, and then at the bottom there you see tabs. Okay, when I click tabs, then there the tab stop that I have to put first is 5.08. Then for it to be part of my tabs on the document, I have to make sure that the alignment is correct left, and then any leader was not specified, so I didn't choose any. It has to be none here because they didn't tell you about any leader. So it is the alignment that you will check. Then now you click set, then it will be part of your tab stops. That's why it's going down here. Okay, so now I can backspace so that I can actually insert the second tab stop. This one is already set. Okay, so the second one now it's 11.94, but this one is not left, is going to be a decimal. I change here, I say decimal, then I set. Now I have two of them which are set. So when I click OK, now let me maximize this. You will see on the ruler it indicates that on just after 5 I've got a tab stop, and after 12 I've got a tab stop. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to type the text so that it appears with my tab stop positions. Alright, So it's sorting. Now I typed the first one. When I press tab on the keyboard, it will move to that first tab stop. Then I type what I see, make and type. Okay, then I have to press tab so that I can type the numbers that I also see on my question paper. 0.076. Okay, then for a next line, enter, then washing, tab, then labels and adhesives, tab, then I will say 39,99, enter. So you see, you type them line by line, going horizontally, not vertically as like list by list. No, it's line by line, because you need to press tab to move to the next position and so on. So the last one, it will be extruding, tab, melting, comma, then tab 4123, 45. Right. Okay, yeah, so that is the end of my question 6b. So, and then at the end it will look like this. This is how it looks like from question 6b, from the beginning, from my spacing of a paragraph, columns, page breaks, the table, inserting the text, merging the rows, changing the text, formatting the text in the table. So we even made the table to have the text appearing in a way that they are centered vertically and horizontally. We have inserted numbers to our paragraphs. We have inserted new text using tab stops. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned as we will be continuing on our next video, as we are doing the next question on Microsoft Excel. Enjoy.